Welcome to episode 54 of Beer with Strangers. I'm your host, Tony Russo, and I'm joined this week by our official pinch-hitting co-host, Sean Hager.
What's up, guys?
And lots of fun stuff this week. We had a good week. I was in New Jersey this weekend, and I always drink so much beer.
Very rare to hear somebody say I had a good week. I was in New Jersey.
I love it. It's God's country to me. I absolutely love it. Always have a good time. There's always plenty of stuff to do. And I just want to jump right into the first thing that I thought we could talk about is a friend of mine does a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't love beer. He doesn't even like beer. But he goes to all the breweries.
He's a friend.
Well, I'll tell you what. So he goes to all the breweries, just because he likes to tell me, what beers he didn't like there. But this time,
so he's a closet beer drinker. He just doesn't tell people that he truly, really likes beer.
No, he'll try every beer. He doesn't have a palate for it. He's a friend of mine that's really into Scotch and will only drink high-end single malt Scotches. So you would think that he would be into the high-end beers. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But so recently he went to Indiana and he brought me back a bunch of Indiana beer. And he brought back maybe eight different, maybe four or five different beers, 8 bottles and cans, 2 cans and some bottles. And he's like, I figured, you could have these. And I'm like, you know what? I have to hide them because I don't want my brothers to come home and drink these. I want to be able to try them. Like 3 hours later, they were gone. They were gone.
They must have been terrible.
I was loaded.
That's awesome. That's a good problem to have.
They were so good. There was one called Gnawbone, which it wasn't my favorite. It's one of the ones I left for my brother, because he would have loved it. It was their pale ale was more fragrant, had more hop flavor and fragrant than their double IPA, which I thought was weird.
I've actually been to breweries where they're like, "This is our amazing double IPA," and I'll be like, "I don't smell anything. I don't really taste anything."
Yeah.
And there's actually been times at certain breweries I've been to that I've actually been like, "Did you pour me the right beer?" And occasionally it's not, but sometimes one brewer's palate's completely different. As long as it was good,
right?
It's not a bad thing, but it's just maybe you should choose your style better.
Yeah, and then the IPA, and it was very good. It wasn't that it was bad. It was just unlike you, I don't like the real fragrant. I don't mind. You make it as bitter as you want. I'm not crazy about the fragrant beers.
Well, fragrant as in perfumey, fragrant as in citrusy.
Yeah, it was like a cloud of lemon oranges right on top. I thought of you and I thought of my brother because he likes beers like you.
Wow, that's crazy because that's honestly that's one of my favorite parts of IPA. That's wild to hear somebody be like, I really like IPAs, but I don't like to smell them.
Well, I don't like when I like black IPAs. You know how black IPAs don't have a lot of
stout,
yeah.
Yeah. I like mine when I'm across the room and I can smell them pouring it. That's how but yeah, it's just weird. I've never seen somebody who like an IPA fan who doesn't prefer an aromatic IPA, especially since that's like the main purpose of dry hopping a beer.
Is to get the aromatics out of it. Well, I'm not like IPA is not my favorite. My favorite are the ambers. He brought a couple of ambers up there. I brought one here. That were I like malty beers and I like.
But that's an amber is a style that you don't like in the craft beer world. From what I've seen, maybe I'm not looking, which is possible. I just don't see many people who like promote the amber beer. Like it's you don't see the word amber on bottles very often. Red ale occasionally. Which actually we're looking into getting a new malt called Red X that apparently is like it's red. Period. Like I'm stupidly excited for no reason other than just make a stupidly red beer. But but no, you see IPA, you see stout, you see black IPA, you see porter. Actually, porter's something you don't see.
No, you see a lot of stouts. You don't see a lot of porters, and you don't see a lot of ambers.
I love porters. I think it's one of the styles that I would love to see make a huge comeback because all of them. I don't think I've ever had a bad porter.
No,
to be honest with you. And I can drink a lot of them as opposed to
stout. Those were the two things that the porter they brought was exactly like that. It wasn't huge. It was maybe 6 and change, maybe 7. It wasn't like this huge beer. It was the largest. And what I liked about it, which maybe is what's something that a lot of people don't like about it, is it was like 2 cents short of too smoky. It was like really, really, really smoky.
Oh God!
And
Hey, that's just now I'm thirsty.
Yeah,
I got a beer in front of me. It's just no, that's not doing it for me.
It was so good, and that was what I hit. I hit that. I drank 3 of them in like 10 minutes. Yeah, it was.
I know. I mean, I talk about Third Wave quite a bit. I mean, I love those guys, and honestly, that reminds me of when Lori and Stu Ellen, the owners, they were homebrewers. You know, before Third Wave was a thought. They, you know, I guess they had a plan of making a brewery, but before that, when I first knew them, we didn't have this place. We just had Millsboro. They would come in every like 2 weeks, and they were making this porter recipe. And excuse me, this week they were doing it, and they come back and they're like, okay, that was really good, but we want to do this. Okay, that was really good, but I think we need a little bit less of that. And they did it 10 or 15 times. And what I thought was amazing about that is that I got to drink them every time they got to bring it. And their porters were so solid.
Yeah.
And really good. And, you know, when they opened Third Wave, they had a few.
The big reef was tough when it first opened.
Yeah, and that was the one that the equipment kind of failed on.
Yeah.
But it has gotten solid again.
Yeah, I still like that.
I wish I could find more. But see, I love smoked porters.
Yeah, it was.
I would drink.
It was. Like I said, I burned through. My sister-in-law got one. And that was an accident. I didn't get any. I don't know how she got one. You know what? I meant to bring back that IPA for you to try, and then I forgot. That was in the refrigerator.
Oh, it's all good.
And I forgot about it.
I got the whole fridge full of smash beers right now. And it sucked because I had some dental work done just prior to the day of, and I couldn't drink any of the smash beers, and I was supposed to be a judge.
That's too bad. This is good. Do you want to talk about this? We were just talking about the.
Sure, we can talk about them.
This is a California ale. It has Amarillo hops and Maris Otter
malt.
I'm
sure you guys talked about it already. We did a smash beer challenge. Smash beer, single malt and single hop. So 1 malt, 1 hop, and I kind of left it open to whatever yeast the brewer felt that they wanted to use.
Right.
I got some crazy questions.
Like what?
A couple of them were, can I add fruit? Can I add this brewing sugar? I was like, nah, I want to keep it simple. 1 malt, 1 hop.
So all these beers, I mean, last week was the same thing. It was just very, I described it as clean because that's the word that I know. It's just very beer flavored is the other.
Well, you know what surprised me the most is I give homebrewers a lot of respect because they will take everything and put it in the beer and not have any regrets whatsoever. I mean, I could spend a day talking about the stuff that I've seen and heard and tasted put into a beer. Some amazing, some not amazing, some, well, I was scared to drink. But with the smash beer, I kind of felt that, you know, smash beers are becoming popular with homebrewers. But I thought it's a good way to kind of rein that back in a bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't need to throw the kitchen sink in the beer to get it to taste amazing. So I did leave them to whatever yeast they want because
you can get fruit flavors out of yeast.
You can get all kinds of stuff out of yeast. And I even kind of just let people decide what they want to do. Some people boiled the beer forever to get color and some complexity, and that's fine with me. But what surprised me is maybe I just didn't give our brewers enough credit, and I feel bad for it. But, you know, I see a lot of times, you know, during these smash things, it's pale malt, like American pale, Citra hops, and American ale yeast. And I was like, oh, man, I don't want 15 Citra pale ales.
Right.
Personally, I would love that. It's my favorite kind of beer. But at the same time,
it makes it harder to separate it.
And when I got all the entrants in and I got to look at them, because when I realized that I couldn't judge, I was able to kind of look and see what everybody did. I was, honestly, I was amazed. I mean, people really, really just kind of took the whole, I'm going to do something different. You know, I saw a lot of Munich malt used, a lot of Vienna malt used, Maris Otter, like in that one. And some people started digging into the depths of finding hops. I mean, I was expecting, you know, the typical basic hops that we sell. And I mean, I saw El Dorado hops come through there, Galaxy hops, Mosaic, an all Amarillo beer, which typically I don't like Amarillo by itself. Amarillo with something.
This is good though.
It's
yeah,
amazing.
No, I really
Great
like
beer.
this beer.
That one scored incredibly high. And the guy was just in here. He scored amazingly. And I can tell you this: the worst beer that I tried there was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it might not have scored very high, but at the same time, every beer I got for that competition, it's 26 entries. There wasn't a single one that I was like, nah, I wouldn't drink that.
Yeah.
And I mean, now I'm working through them now because now I can finally actually drink beer again. It's terrible when somebody tells you not to.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed at how diverse the batches were. You know, I'm glad that it came out that way.
Yeah.
So I think it was a big success.
And these were I'm sorry, I started the wrong sentence. I'm not talking about the beers. I'm talking about the brewers. You guys do have that kind of cultivated, like the people who come and enter things here. A lot of times, you guys. I think it's I don't know if it's the competition or the camaraderie, but I've yet to have a bad. I mean, I don't get people bringing them in for me to taste what's wrong with them. But whenever you guys have an event, the beers, you can pick up a beer. Everybody wants to show off, and they're almost always.
I am in no way a BJCP judge. I don't have the palate for it. I wish I did. I mean, I have a friend of mine who's a professional brewer and a mead maker, and I mean, I think he could tell you when the malt was malted. He has like a bionic tongue or something. But I've had bad beer in competitions, and occasionally I'll see it. Actually, we had a beer. I'm not going to use names because it is what it is. The gentleman did not score very high. He's like, that's not what my beer tasted like, and he made it a point to come in with some in a growler from the keg that went to the bottles. And we think that because we made everybody give us 3 bottles,
right?
I think that one bottle
was just bad.
That the one that happened to end up getting judged just had a bad, like maybe had
wasn't cleaned enough or
exactly. And the beer that he brought back, he's like, look, I don't want you guys thinking I'm a bad brewer. Try this, and it was good.
Yeah.
That's the downside of beer judging, and like you had the National Homebrew Conference. I mean, hell. These beers are coming from all over the country. God knows what kind of condition they're shipped in.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure we've all gotten packages in the mail. You're like, oh, I'm glad they played soccer with it out here. But the brewers, but going back to what you said, the diversity of them. Diversity of brewers is amazing because I get to see all kinds of really amazing beers that come through here.
Yeah.
But when you bring it down to simplicity, like the Smash Beer Challenge did, it's kind of a separate but equal, and I hate using that term because it means something terrible. It really comes out that you get to see that, okay, yes, this person typically does wild out there beers, or this person does very conservative beers, that they can come together on the same kind of thing and just bang them out.
They're still good brewers.
Yes.
And they're not hiding behind
no
blueberry
exactly.
chocolate.
Right. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I hope that in the coming years we'll do another Smash Challenge. Right now, my next challenge I think is going to be to design the next Extreme Brewing Kit. Sometimes you have a kit on the shelf for many years, it kind of gets stale, and people have done it a gazillion times, and
so they want something new.
Yeah, but why should it be my recipe or Doug's recipe?
Yeah.
I am doing a beer for the Roller Girls. I don't know if I had mentioned that before.
No.
We are sponsoring the Salisbury Roller Girls. I'm throwing a plug in for them because they're awesome. Anytime you get to watch a bunch of incredibly hot chicks skate around a rink and beat each other up is awesome. And they do a lot for the community. So we're going to give something back. We're going to do a recipe for them. And every kit we sell, I think we're going to take $5 and put it aside and give it to them to give whatever charity they want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We should when you do that, next time you brew it, we could do something about that.
That'd be great.
Maybe we could do we could do a live stream of just pick a night, maybe a quiet night. It doesn't have to be You know.
It's gonna be after hours.
Yeah, we could come after hours and we could live stream the whole.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be cool.
But so that's gonna be the next new kit. But I would like to also see what our brewers come up with.
I just want to, as long as we're plugging things, I have a recent blog about my trip to Dogfish Head. I have 2 blogs that are coming out. One came out yesterday, I think. The other one's going to come out tomorrow, I think. But I spoke with one of the microbiologists there.
Oh, very cool.
For my Women in Beer series, which is a full night plate. Yeah. And she is a BJCP judge trainer.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Like, not only am I a judge, I teach the judges.
It was really, she was super, super cool. We had a really nice conversation. Yeah, she was same thing. She was a home brewer, and then she had said, do I want to go into pharmaceuticals? And she's like, seems boring. And I don't think I could be in a cubicle all day. So she just happened to come to a master brewers meeting that happened to be in Rehoboth.
She was off-centered.
And she was an off-centered person. And it was funny because then I interviewed a woman who brews after her, one of the brewers up there. And she's like, I was in pharmaceuticals inside.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny. It's pharmacy's loss is beer's gain, I guess.
Oh, that's great with me.
But yeah, so she's on like a committee on the National Home Brewer Association committee.
That's great. I love hearing about how homebrew's getting bigger and bigger.
And they give grants, and she's on one of the grant giving boards where like this guy in Florida figured out a way to harvest wild yeast from the from the fruit, whatever oranges or whatever.
Right.
They got all the fruit in Florida.
The Dogfish did that.
And
with the DNA.
Well, he wanted to make it. I don't know. You know what? It's not even in the store because it was just way over my head.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, but so they funded his research, and then with the results, they made a beer with a local brewery, and apparently they do things like that.
Oh, wow!
With some regularity, they fund homebrew research, and then that research goes to benefit the larger craft drinking community.
Okay. Have you ever had Dogfish's DNA? It's only available in the pub.
No, I haven't. Believe it or not, I've never been in the pub. I told my
missing out.
I know. I told my daughter I'll take her for her birthday in August. So I'll go in August.
I can tell you this. It's packed all the time. I went there the other week on
August is going to be brutal. That's why I was saying
on a Thursday, and because I went and met with Sean for the coffee brewing thing, but we went on Thursday and it was packed. I've never had a bad meal there ever.
Right.
Ever, and I love to eat. Beer is always solid, and what's cool is you can get brew pub exclusives. Stuff they only brew on small batch. Well, the DNA is their Delaware native ale. They went to Pfeiffer Orchards, put a bunch of yeast traps around a rotting pile of peaches, and caught that. That's what they use for yeast. They use all Delaware native ingredients. Actually, a good friend of mine, John Talkington, who is an amazing mead maker and brewer at Dogfish Head, they got him to make a braggot, which is almost a 50-50 split of beer versus wine. Or I'm sorry, not wine.
Beer and mead.
Mead. Thank you. And he used one of the local grown fruits. Was it cherries or might have been raspberries? Don't remember.
That's much.
But it was awesome. Locally sourced honey, locally sourced everything, and it was amazing. That yeast that they harvested is strong. Originally, they didn't think it was, but he pushed the limits of it, and it is amazing. So if you ever get a chance to go up there and try their Delaware native, it's...
Well, I will be going up there because this is only vaguely breaking. I think this is the first time I've said it in public. I did get a contract to do my second book, and it's going to be Delaware beer.
Yes!
It'll be out this time next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got to write about all the breweries in Delaware. So between now and November, it should
there's
be
new
fun.
ones popping up.
There are like 6 new ones.
I just heard about one in Lewis. Yeah. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard about it. I know there's one going at Finn's.
It's the same. I'm going to have the same problem that I had here. I'm going to have to write in the introduction, if I miss the brewery that you like, it's only because eventually you have to stop waiting for them to open.
Yeah.
And go ahead and write the book. But I'm hoping to get, and I believe that I'll get Sam to cooperate, and so hopefully he'll.
Yeah, just call in advance to get him
prominently in the book.
Well, you're gonna have to be like, oh, can I speak to Sam? Yeah, we'll schedule you 37 months from now.
Well, he's
a busy man.
That's what Doug said. It usually takes about 2 months to get back to you. So,
great guy though. Have you ever met him?
But I have. I signed his copy of Eastern Shore Beer.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll tell you the story again because I think it's awesome, and I told it already. I told it to Doug. I was signing up in Rehoboth, and he came in. Shopping, just Christmas shopping. I just happened to be there today. He just happened to be Christmas shopping with Mariah, and they came in, and I was right in the front, and I recognized him immediately. And he's standing there, and he's kind of looking at the book, and he's looking at her, and he's looking at the book, and he's like, "We should get one, right?"
Yes.
And she said to him, and I love this part of the story. She's like, she rolls her eyes at him. She says, I got you one for Christmas. So she had already bought my book before, and I thought that was very flattering to me.
Oh, that's great.
But then she's like, but I guess we should get a signed one. He's like, yeah. So he introduced himself as if he's like, I'm Sam, and I'm like, I know
if you ever,
you're in the book.
Yeah. We've heard of you once.
And he got a huge kick out of the fact that Doug wrote the intro.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so that was cool.
If you ever want a funny Sam Calagione story, talk to Eric Camper, the assistant brewer at Tall Tales.
Yeah.
We went to the National Homebrew Conference, and he finally got to meet his idol. And there's a funny story about it's National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him about that. It's really, really funny. You guys are just going to have to stay in suspense.
Sorry, yes. And there is one of you, so thank you for joining us.
I see you right there.
We are actually running out of time, so I want to hit a couple of things real quick. Do you have the schedule? What do we got coming up? We have a class on Saturday.
Do not have a class on Saturday.
Okay.
There was supposed to be a wine class tonight, but a couple people had to bail, so we just canceled it up. I have a introduction to brewing. I do have a class on Saturday.
You have a class on Saturday.
Okay, so let's start with the most upcoming. This Saturday, featuring Mike Peronsky, hopefully, if I can get a hold of him, we'll be discussing yeast, which is the magical little thing that makes beer and wine and alcohol and all the other tasty things we like to enjoy. My little motto is brewers make work, yeast makes beer.
And that's at 2 p.m.
Yes, it is too. Next Thursday, I have a discussion on introduction to brewing. Next Saturday, I'll have Sean Hickson from The Point discussing coffee roasting. Sean is a dedicated coffee man. I got the pleasure of learning. I don't say learning how because I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Watching. Yeah. Viewing the roasting of coffee beans.
But we really do hope to be able to stream that. I barring something going wrong where I can't make it. The hope is to stream that. So if you are interested in coffee, or if you know anyone who's interested in coffee, make sure you follow us at Beer with Strangers, and we can make sure that you see the.
Sean is very passionate about his coffee,
which is really good. And he did the hop infused coffee.
Yes, he did, and Sauvignon Blanc. Cabernet Sauvignon infused coffee.
I'll bet that would be very good.
Yeah, he used Cabernet Sauvignon barrels.
Two great taste great together. Yeah.
Yeah. Intense about his coffee and stuff, but nicest guy, and I will be introducing a beer that day. After discussing with him, we wanted to do a beer. Hey, we're brewers; it's what we do. To kind of compliment him, we wanted to do something different than a coffee stout, so we did a coffee saison. It is secondary right now. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Looking forward to it. We spoke about this. Doug and I spoke about it last week. I'm really looking forward to the coffee saison. And now, can people get the recipes? Do you publish the recipes, or do you make the kits, or
for the coffee saison?
Yeah,
it's secret.
Yeah, it's
no, I'm just kidding. If it's good, I will gladly give you the recipe. If it's the worst thing ever,
then try it yourself.
I will find a way to hack YouTube and delete this part of the video.
And last but not least, I'm sorry, is that all the dates?
As far as I can remember off the top of my head, Yes.
Okay. Last but not least, hopefully between now and the next time we meet next week, I'm going to participate in the Drew Estates cigar matching, where you choose a cigar and a beer, and then you have to film yourself pairing the cigar and the beer. My hope, if it's still on tap, because I miss it more often than I'd like, is to do the honey ginger cream ale that they do over at Third Wave, which is nice and sweet, and to do that with a big, heavy cigar.
Really?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking a lighter.
No, it's the counterpoints that make everything taste better. I just learned that.
Huh.
That's why people drink brandy with cigars, because brandy's sweet. If you drink scotch, then you have two smoky flavors. But if you drink brandy, then it's like very sweet and very smoky. And it makes a nice flavor.
I always thought that, you would have a nice, robust cigar with a robust beverage.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you don't smoke cigars, or do you smoke cigars?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Smoke pipes. Okay, actually, I'm sucking at that too. I haven't had one since August.
And it makes me very happy because he gives me his tobacco, and I'm almost done with it.
Oh God, I'm gonna go dig through the bags again.
Yeah. But that's gonna do us for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to like us and follow us and all of those things. If you're interested in having a homebrew class all to yourself, that's something that they do here at Extreme Brewing.
Oh, yes, 4 people.
extremebrewing.com with or without the E, either EXTREME or XTREMEBREWING.com. And they can set that up for you, and it's a blast. I come often. I've not actually brewed something personally, but I come with.
It's better at drinking.
Yeah, I come with some regularity, and that'll do us.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.